because they're taking a few more pictures. They're good picture takers. All right. Leslie coming? Okay. Hey, Drew. Let's do sanctuary. Okay.
Y'all can come on up if you want to.
Hi,
We
Leslie.
won't start for like 5 minutes.
I know you're here. So yeah, have a seat. If there are masks available, if people are wanting to wear masks, if you haven't brought one yourself. But we're a pretty intimate crowd here, and you all know each other. You know Oliver and Ivan. So find a spot, and let's see. We'll make sure that your parents should be here, don't you think? Yeah. Yeah. So we'll let them take their seats. You guys are right here in the middle.
So if you get thirsty, you can have something. Let me give you a cup of water.
No, but thank you. Mark is here, president accounted for. Amy's here, president accounted for. And it's just about 4 o'clock. You guys are good. Hey, Amy, you think, honestly,
Hey, Leslie.
the eyeball is, you can, right, that clock is 5 minutes. So that should be 4 o'clock. What's that? You would have an Aliyah, that's when you do the blessing, you mean? That's up here. We're passing a Torah down. So if you're
But thanks for asking.
everybody's here. Okay. We can take attendance if you guys want.
Bueller.
You're about to transition from whatever it was you were doing earlier to really what we consider, sacred time and sacred moments. So, just take a deep breath and kind of get yourself ready to be here and to be fully present, to support these wonderful young men as they lead our service and they teach us Torah. It's still Shabbat. So Shabbat Shalom to everybody. I hope this Sabbath so far has been holy and peaceful, and it's been a really interesting weather day, right? Like a lot of wind, but some sunshine and kind of invigorating autumn sort of weather. So, but now we're all inside in this, what we call a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace. And I hope you feel that. You know, whether you've been here before, you've never been here ever, I hope you feel that this is a place that we really hope and pray kind of surrounds everyone that comes here with a sense of shalom and peace and unity and hope and faith. And if you didn't have that already, all you got to do is look at these guys, you know, who really do. They represent the best of us. I've known Oliver and Ivan for now a long time. They were little guys. And I think like you, who've known them for a long time, it's just amazing. It's almost like you blink your eyes and look, I mean, you know, grown up and taking on responsibility and doing all kinds of great things at school and in the world. I'm just really proud of them, and I know that that's the feeling that we all have for the two of you. And if you think you're proud now, just wait as we go through this service, as they lead us, as they inspire us, as we become, you know, their students. Always an incredible moment. So we're going to do a lot of singing in this service. If you know the songs or the prayers, please feel free to join along, join in. And if they're not familiar to you, if they're from a tradition you're not totally connected to, you could just lie or hum or clap your hands to the beat. You know, we want everyone to participate. This is a B'nai Mitzvah, and really, it's a service, but it's also a celebration. And, you know, Rabbi Karen and I could stand here with Ivan and Oliver, and they would become B'nai Mitzvah by reading from the Torah and, you know, doing all the things that they learned with their tutor, Golda. But because you're here, you make it community. You make it a celebration. And so it's awesome to be together. We're going to start just by a little bit of singing, just to get you warmed up. You don't need to know any words. This is Leslie and Andrew, who are going to be helping us with our music. They're just going to sing a melody that has no words. All you have to do is say "Lai Lai" along with the music. It's kind of a way to get us warmed up, get the spirit moving, kind of feel that cohesiveness and togetherness and spirituality. So give it a try. Sing along with Andrew and Leslie as we prepare for this B'nai Mitzvah on this Shabbat afternoon.
Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la.
So Oliver and Ivan, one of the mitzvahs in our tradition is when you lead a service that you wear what's called a talit, a prayer shawl that has the fringes, just like Rabbi Karen is wearing, the fringes that represent all the mitzvahs, you know, all the different sacred deeds that are available to us to kind of enrich our lives and help us enrich the lives of others. And because the two of you are becoming B'nai Mitzvah, we wanted your family, your parents, we wanted you to wear talesim. And so your mom and dad are going to come up here and present you with your two talits that you will wear for the remainder of the service. So come on up. Look at those colorful kippas, liking it. Oliver Talis, Ivan Talis. Yeah. And stay right up here, you guys. So that because it's a mitzvah, there's a blessing. Every mitzvah has a unique blessing that kind of names what it is. This blessing, this mitzvah, is of wrapping yourself and a talit. And so will the two of you please together read the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehidateif batzitzi.
Amen. Turn around and get a little pride and love. There you go. Look at that group hug. Perfect. I mean, that was like worth the whole thing, right?
That was great.
You guys can have your seat, and you know these are holy moments. You can't help it. It's just sort of it's the formula, and you saw it right there. So this is going to be a service filled with holy moments, and so the next thing we're going to sing together on page 2 does have words, and those words means how good it is to come together with intentionality and with openness, with love. How good and how pleasant it is when we, a group of brothers and sisters, family and friends, when we sit together just like we are right now.
שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב עיניים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד.
So we are on page 3 with the Chatzi Kaddish, and traditionally this is sort of the pause, the break that we move from the warm-up into the rest of our service, but today it's a special break because this marks the beginning of when the two of them are going to lead us in prayer. So they will lead us beginning on page 3.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayecha u'v'yomechon u'v'hayedeh kol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'isman kariv v'imeru amen yehei shmei rabba memarach le'olam u'mayomaya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yiramam v'yinaseh v'yihadar v'yihaleh v'yihalal shemei dekudashah barichu le'ela min kol biracha v'shirata tushbehata v'nehemata da'amiran be'alma v'imeru amen.
You guys heard of davening? Davening is a Yiddish word for prayer, and you go to some synagogues, and they pray even faster than Oliver and Ivan. These guys are like getting to be really good daveners. Well done.
They're just very ready for this moment.
Totally, I feel it. All right, we're going to turn to the next page, and yep, go.
Please rise as we call each other to prayer with the Baruch Hu.
Good job.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch
within you, there is a stillness and a sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time and be yourself. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you, and we have deep depth. Please join me in chanting the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Continuing on page 7 with Oliver and Ivan continuing to lead us in prayer.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'elech asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'techa uvlektecha v'derech uvshaktecha uvkumecha uvshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uvtatam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Laman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim v'lechem ani Adonai Elchem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elokechem. Together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these words which I command you this day. Teach them diligently to your children. Speak of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you arise. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as symbols between your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Remember to do all my commandments and be holy to your God. I am your God, who led you out of Egypt. To be your God, I am your God. I know that we are a people who have crossed many seas. In every service, we remember that the price of freedom is often great, as we sing the same words that our ancestors sang after crossing from slavery to freedom at the shores of another sea.
Pages 8 and 9.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi chamocha Payalim Adonai mi kamocha neder bakodesh Mi chamocha, payalim Adonai, mi kamocha, reda bakodesh. Torah zilot, o sefer, Torah zilot, o sefer, machut kara. Moshe, machut chara u'vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Miriam zeli אמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו עמי החזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Sia Habakkuk y cuencos, Sia Habakkuk y cuencos, Sia Habakkuk y cuencos, Sia Hamba, Sia Hamba, Sia Habakkuk y cuencos, Sia Hamba, Sia Hamba, Sia Habakkuk y cuencos. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, we are marching, oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, we are marching, ooh, we are marching in the light of God. Mechamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nidar ba'kodesh. Mechamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nidar ba'kodesh.
Page 10. So in the this service is a late afternoon, early evening service. We'll conclude with a ceremony known as Havdalah that will, for us in this time and place, end Shabbat, but we got a ways to go before that. We still got to hear the Torah read by Oliver and Ivan and hear their messages. But this is a prayer that is only in this service. You won't hear this if you come in the morning. Only in the evening services. And it really is about how we hope that after a full day, and this I know will have been a full day when it ends, that we are able to have a peaceful rest and renew our souls in the evening so that when we wake up tomorrow, we're ready once again to go through it all. The good stuff and the challenges, the holy moments like this B'nai Mitzvah, being together. Whatever comes our way, we hope that we are covered, it says, and embraced by a shelter of peace. But we don't only hope that for ourselves, because that's not what this is all about. If we want it for ourselves, then we want it for everybody, the whole world. So this is a prayer for peace. This evening, this wonderful, holy, happy evening in the life of this family. And we hope the peace from these moments extend everywhere. People we know and people we'll never meet. Places we've been and places we'll never get to. We pray for peace all over the world, starting now. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Allow us to lie and rise in peace tonight and all nights. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Sing shalom, shalom. There you go. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Hashtivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. This next part of the prayer is courtesy of Bob Marley. May he rest in peace. Everything's gonna be alright. 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 Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot shlomecha. Ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha, and cover over us tonight with a Sukkot shalom, a shelter of peace for you, for those you love. A Sukkot shalom on this special evening, we hope, covers everyone and everything that dwells on earth. May the fact that the two of you made this decision to become B'nai Mitzvah and inspire us, may that be part of the healing of the broken heart of the world. Amen. Shalom.
To understand and reconnect with our stories, the stories of our ancestors, is to build our identities. Look at the gift of being now. Look at the astonishing responsibility of legacy, leaving. And what will our time leave? That for me is the big question. Are we being good ancestors? Please rise.
We are on page 11 at the bottom. Sing, please, with Andrew and Leslie, the beginning of this section of prayer.
Adonai, Sifetai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sifetai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha, Adonai, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la
Ata Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagivor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, uvmei v'geula livnei v'nehem, L'ma'an shemo b'yahava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah.
Together.
Praise be the God of our ancestors, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, of Sarah, of Rebekah, of Leah, and of Rachel. Praise be the source of strength and courage, the source of kindness and good deeds. Praise be the source of gentleness and love, of softness and kind words. Praise be the person who transcends strength through gentleness. Praise be the person who perfects gentleness through strength. Praise be the person who acts according to the best that is within. Praise be the person who reaches out to touch the best in others. Praise be the gentle faithfulness of Abraham and the valiant strength of Sarah. Praise be the God who infused humanity with divine potential.
So we are on page 13 with the Gevurot, which is spiritual strength. And I'm guessing we probably all get our spiritual strength from somewhere else, but I have to tell you today we are definitely getting it from the two of you. It is so wonderful to have known you for years and now to see you both up here celebrating becoming a Bar Mitzvah. So today is your day, and today we take all this goodness and strength from you guys.
Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol ata rav lehoshia, mechayel chayim be'esed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al giverot, umedol melach, Melech memit, chaye, matzmiya Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah ha'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol.
We are now on page 14. This is the prayer that is holiness itself. It's all about rising higher, doing better, really accessing the best of ourselves and therefore trying to access the best of the world. And so we say, when we sing this prayer, we fill in the spaces that are between us with holiness, with Kedusha.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sebaot, Meloch haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonai, Adir, Shimcha b'chol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai mipamo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu hu Malkeinu, hu Moshiach ve'hu Yashmi'enu, le'achem ve'nei kol chai. Elohai
The soul should always stand ajar, ready to welcome the ecstatic experience. After you've exhausted what there is in business, politics, conviviality, love, and so on, I found that none of these finally satisfy or permanently wear what remains. Nature remains to bring out from their torpid recesses the infinities of a man or woman, with the open air, the trees, fields, the changes of seasons, the sun by day, and the starts of heaven by night. If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit.
Wow, really quite, I gotta go back and read those. Really deep passages. And, if I didn't explain this earlier, Ivan and Oliver and their families put together this prayer book for their B'nai Mitzvah. So it's a combination, it's kind of a weaving of the prayers that are always in this service, the traditional prayers we call keva, the fixed prayers. But then Oliver and Ivan and their family is responsible for what we call kavanah, those moments that aren't in every service, that are designed to surprise us a little bit, to sort of make us see things, even see the prayers that have been around for thousands of years in a little bit of a different way. And so they selected these passages, and they select them according to the prayers that they go next to. So all of these passages that were chosen because somehow they reminded Oliver and Ivan and their parents about this holy time we call the Sabbath, Shabbat, this time of rest and peace and deep relationship encounters. This time that we kind of stop the busyness just for a moment and just kind of have a little time of expansion, expanding of our souls. So all of those passages lead us to page 16, to the fixed prayer that's in every Shabbat service that actually speaks to Shabbat. It's from the Torah, one of the parts of the Torah that tells us how necessary this time called Sabbath is for our souls and for our renewal so that we can keep on doing the work we need to do to make the world a better place. Moments of peace and then action. If we don't have both, we're out of balance. So this is about Shabbos, about rest and holiness.
B'shamu b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam b'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael B'shamu b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai el ha-shamayim va'et haaretz b'shamu b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam u'bayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash b'shamu b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam
dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice.
It's probably true that in most religious traditions, the word that's used most often is peace. Maybe love is tied with peace, but peace certainly comes up a lot. I guess if it was easy, we wouldn't have to say it as much. But it's not easy, but it is certainly the goal. And as Dr. King says, the word shalom doesn't just mean peace. It really means wholeness. So it includes justice and compassion and righteousness and joy. All the good stuff in life, all the blessings are encompassed in shalom. So this prayer on page 17, we're just going to sing the very first line a couple times over, because it's not only for peace, shalom, it's for shalom rav, which means a great peace, an all-encompassing shalom. Shalom rav, Yisrael.
We now pause for a moment for our own prayers, the prayers inside of our hearts. Oliver and Ivan have given us some more wonderful things to read on page 18, but honestly, these quotes have just been amazing and wonderful, so feel free to look back through the prayer book if you want to, and think about any of the quotes that they've provided us.
So much, guys, have a seat. Go, chill. Amen. So now we are beginning to move into the part of the service that's the Torah service. And I wanted to take this moment just to recognize that it's not just us that are here participating in this B'nai Mitzvah, but also all the people that are streaming. I know people that couldn't make it here are able to watch on the live stream, and also it'll be recorded as a video. And I want to especially recognize your Grandma Penny, right, who's watching in San Francisco. Yeah. So hi, Grandma Penny. Say hi. Wave to your grandma. There's look at that. And as long as I'm recognizing the stream, I want to make sure it's not just Rabbi Karen and I that are here representing the rabbis of CRC, but Rabbi Daniel, that's our streaming booth right back there, kind of in a pinch, came to produce and to make sure the stream kind of was able to, get you guys transported all over the world as you become B'nai Mitzvah. So I wanted to say hey to Rabbi Daniel back there in appreciation. So we're going to move, as I said, into the Torah service. The first thing we want to do is have the guys ask everyone to...
Please rise.
Exactly. And to start this service, I'm going to ask Craig. Where's Craig? A family friend? There you are, Craig. Come on up, Craig. You're going to open the doors of the ark. Right here. Yep. Welcome. Just kind of, yeah, like a fridge. And now we're going to move to the front of the sanctuary here. So the guys are going to go down. I'm going to also ask for Great Aunt Elaine to take her seat, and we also have Uncle Ed and Aunt Leslie, and then of course your parents. So and of course our B'nai Mitzvah. So let's do the order is. That's perfect. So Aunt Elaine is first, and next to Aunt Elaine will be Uncle Ed right there, and then Aunt Leslie, and then everything else is perfect. Right next to Uncle Ed over there. Yep, there you go. All right, now. Rabbi Karen's going to come down with the Torah, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're doing, if you haven't seen this before. We wanted to bring up some of the generations of Ivan and Oliver's family, representing the generations, so that if you guys look down this line, you can see, the people that, some of the people that really kind of helped make you who you are becoming, their stories and their teachings and their wisdom and their love. But it's really true, if we kind of extended that line, past where Rabbi Karen is and where your photographer is, it could just go on and on and on. All those generations, even, we talked a little bit about Abraham and Sarah in the prayer avot, and you're going to hear a lot about Abraham and Sarah from Oliver and Ivan, because that's where we are in the Torah. But, you could even say, like, mythically, all the way back to them. And so what we want to do is pass you Torah, but not just the Torah, the scroll that Rabbi Karen's holding, but Torah also stands for whatever we've got, our stories and our values, the things that we hold dear. We want to pass to you, your great aunts and great uncle, and of course your parents and your grandparents have passed so much to you as well. So that's what we're doing by passing the Torah to you, is just wanting to show everyone how much we want you to have, so much that is ours passed on to you. And so that's part of what we're doing here. But the other part of what we're doing is actually passing you the Torah scroll, because you're about to chant from the Torah and teach us Torah, and this is a big deal. It's a big responsibility. So you're actually going to feel that when you hold the Torah and carry the Torah. And this particular Torah, I think the two of you know, you've been coming around here for a long time, but this particular scroll is a survivor of the Shoah, of the Holocaust. There are a number of survivor scrolls out in the world. They were they belonged to a synagogue in Czechoslovakia, in a village called Holosov, a Jewish village. And when the Nazis ransacked Jewish populations, as they did during that time before and during World War II. They also destroyed synagogues. They killed people and they destroyed synagogues, but they kept some of the artifacts. They wanted to open a museum after the war and show people that where there once was a Jewish people, and these are the things they did. Well, of course, it was a great tragedy for the Jewish people and all humankind, all of the people that were murdered and in the name of hatred. But these Torahs did survive because the plan didn't work out the way the Nazis wanted it to work, thank God. And so we recovered these Torahs, the Allies recovered them, and they were sent out for adoption at congregations all over the world, and we feel so blessed to have one of these because it allows us to tell its story and to learn its lessons, but it also allows us to pass it to our young people who are proof positive that not only did we survive mourning our losses, but we survived and thrived to continue teaching the lessons from Torah to everybody. And so during this challenging time in the world, this is a moment that gives all of us great joy and pride, I know. And so Rabbi Kara is going to let your great aunt Elaine kind of hold that Torah, touch that Torah, and then pass it through the generations. Your great uncle, and another great aunt, and then to your dad, your father, and your mother. And then you're going to first give that Torah to Ivan. Let him hold it. And then you're going to give it back to your mom. Then you're going to give it to Oliver. This has been well choreographed. Then we'll pick it up. Okay. So I'm sorry if I'm going to be off screen here, Daniel. Just the way it goes. But let me start. You guys come right up front. Yep. And wait, hold on, guys. Hold on. We're not doing that yet. All right. All good. Okay, right there. Look at that. So you already chanted the Shema for us once. We're going to have you chant it again because these are moments. After we celebrate with you, after we kind of celebrate with the Torah, kind of a little moment of dancing and clapping and joy, then we're going to sit down and listen. Guess who we're going to listen to? You are our teachers. You are our leaders. And you have worked hard to make sure that you can do this. It's been a journey, hasn't it? There's so many reasons, there's so many challenges. You know, challenges in the world. We were closed for a year and a half. Challenges here, challenges there, but here you are. We are ready to listen and learn from you and with you, but first, chant for us once again the words of we're going to have some moments here, so you can put your books down, so you can clap with the music, and you can connect to the Torah, connect to Ivan, Oliver. If you want to join a little procession, you can. But in the words of the ancient Hebrew prophets, we say,
Please be seated.
So I wanted to make sure everyone knew that if you missed it, it was a bummer because it was really cute when Oliver and Ivan's cousins, Daniel and Emily, right? Nina. Daniel and Lena. Daniel and Lena came up and they got the Torah ready to be read, and Lena was the one with the cool sunglasses. There she is, right there. So if you missed it, you'll have another chance because they're going to get the Torah ready to put back in the ark after we're all done with it. So thank you to them. And also want to do one more recognition before we start hearing the Torah being chanted, which is Golda. Golda has been the tutor. Oh, Mark is giving Golda a round of applause. Golda has been meeting weekly, right, with Ivan and Oliver for quite many months, many moons, as we say in our lunar calendar, so that they could do this. They could stand up here, and to chant from the Torah scroll is a whole different challenge, even than reading Hebrew, which itself is a challenge, because it looks different in the Torah. It sort of stays true to its ancient self. So it takes a lot, and these guys worked really hard, and I know they worked really well with Golda. Who are you sitting there with, Golda? Yeah. Hey, hi, yeah, Mr. Golda? Mr. Golda, so glad you're here. Wow, Golda's an amazing teacher. I know you know that, but she really is. So Yasher Koach, and clearly the family thinks so, and I know these guys think so, and we think so. So, oh yes, and not only did Golda teach these guys to chant from Torah, but she gave them yads to give them a hand, and that's really literal because the word yad means hand. It's also a tool to help read from the Torah without touching the scroll. And so again, Yasher Koach and Kol HaKavod to our teacher, Golda. And now turning things over to Rabbi Karen.
So we get to invite up some very special people for both of you. But first we get to hear from Oliver. So we're going to invite up your Uncle Ed and your Aunt Kirsten. Ya'amod, Yitzchak la'aliyah rishona.
Kirsten.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, come on
Uncle
over.
Ed.
So we are on page 20. He's going to start. Uncle Ed's going to read the blessing before the Torah, and then you can follow along towards the bottom of page 20 with the Torah portion. Right here.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai
Baruch Olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Oliver, you ready, buddy? Start from the beginning there. Yep.
Vayomer Adonai el Avram lech lecha me'arza umimoladtecha umibeit aviha el haaretz asher areka ve'escha l'goy gadol va'ava rehecha va'gadilea la shemecha vayei bracha va'avarcha mevarechecha va'umkalacha orphan ivrahu v'cha kol mishvahota adama.
Uncle Ed, we need you back up here for the blessing after. You can't sneak away in this congregation. So the blessing after is on page 21.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natav v'shravim. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So
Amen.
if you want to give him a little hug, then you can
Wait,
go
now I
sit
can
down.
go.
Here we go. So while Uncle Ed is giving them some love, we will invite up our next Aliyah, which is Aunt Leslie, Uncle Gary, and Joe. So come on up. Ya'amo, Leah, V'Gary, V'Yosef, La'aliyah Shniya.
Baru et Adonai Hamevora.
Baruch Adonai Hamvara Leolam Va'ed.
Baru Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Baharbanu Mikol Ha'amim Netan Lanu et Torato Baru et Adonai Noten HaTorah. Vayelech Avram Kasher Diver Elav Adonai Vayelech Ito Lot Avram Ben Hameh Shanim Vashivim Shanai V'Teto Mehara Vayika Avram Et Sarai Ishto Viet Lot Ben Achiv Viet Kol Rekusha Asher Rechashu Viet HaNefesh Asher Atzu V'Charan Vayetzeu laleket arza Canaan vayivo'u arza Canaan vayavor Avram ba'aretz ad mekom Shechem ad elot moreh v'hakanaani az ba'aretz.
Okay, set it down. Have the blessing after.
Baru Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'Haye Olam Nata Betohenu Baru Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Want to give them a little love? So we will call Oliver up for his Bar Mitzvah Aliyah, but we'd also like to have Mark and Amy come up here, so you can be up here when he's called up to the Torah. Okay, you ready? There we go. Yeah, Amod, Oliver Levi ben Moshe v'Shifra la'Aliyah Bar Mitzvah. Okay, so you're going to do the blessing.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvara. Baruch
Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvara Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Baharbanu Mikol Ha'amim V'Natatan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Vayera Adonai El Avram Vayomer Lazar Acha Etain Et Haaretz Azot Vayiven Sham Mizbeach Ladonai Hanir Et Elav Vayahatek Misham Hahara Mikedem Levet El Vayet Ahalot Beit El Miyam Vahaha Mikedem Vayiven Sham Mizbeach Ladonai Vayahara B'Shem Adonai Vayisa Avram Halo V'Nasoa Hanegba. Baruch Adonai, Baruch Ata Adonai, Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet Mechaye Olam Nato Betochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Get some love.
That's awesome.
That was a beautiful reading, Oliver. And so now we're going to have Ivan come on up, and he is going to continue where Oliver left off, but we are going to turn the page. So Ivan's reading starts at the top of page 21. They ended right here.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on 1 second. So for his first aliyah, we'd like to invite up Cousin Lisi and Cousin Lee. Ya'amdu Leah Levi La Aliyah Rishona.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Page 21, if you want to follow along.
Vayechi Ra'av ba'aretz, Vayered Avram Mitzrayma, Lagur Sham, Ki chaved Arav ba'aretz. Vayehi Ka'asher Ikriv, Lavo Mitzrayma, Vayomer El Sarai Ishto Inena, Yadati Ki Isha Yafat Mar'eh, At V'chaya. Ki yir'u ota hamitzrim ve'ameru ishto tzon v'haragu oti ve'ota yechayuv.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
You want to give him a hug or a fist bump or however you want to do it? Good job. So now we get to invite up Mark and Amy for their own aliyah. So if you would come on back up. Ya'amdu Moshe v'Shifra la'aliyah shniyah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvara.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Imrina achoti at lama nitav li ba'avara v'chata nifshi biglelu. Vayehi kavo Avram Mitzrayma vayir'u chamitzrim et ha'isha kaifa chiv me'od vayir'u ota sarai par'o v'chalelu. Oti al Paro vayikra ha'isha Beit Paro will.
Good job. Blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei lo nata b'tuheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So you two stay up here and come on around, because now we get to invite Ivan up as a bar mitzvah for the final aliyah. So, Ya'amod, Ivan Yoel ben Moshe v'Shifra la'aliyah bar mitzvah. And we'll do the blessing.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvara.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvara le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. U'Avram chaytiv ba'aretz vayechi lotzon uvakar ve'chamarim ve'avadim ishfachot ve'chatzonot ugmalim ve'chanega Adonai et Paro negaim gedolim ve'et beito aldevar sarai ishot Avram vayikra Paro le'Avram vayomer matzon asita li laman lohigata li ki ishecha chiv. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Turn around. So the Torah is open. As you can see, we not too long ago just started again after the new year and Simchat Torah. We started again reading from the beginning of the Torah. And so we're really just a few portions in. The portion that Oliver and Ivan have chanted for you that they'll kind of talk about with you is just right at the very early stages of this story that is in the scroll. And so there's something powerful, really. I know that everyone that came up here, and for sure Oliver and Ivan kind of sense it when you're up here with this ancient scroll that tells these stories that are repeated over and over and over again, and that we hear them differently each time, and each person hears them differently. But we hope to interpret them in ways that will enable us to be our best selves and create a better world. And so the open Torah is a powerful force, spiritual force, and that's why we sing a healing prayer with the Torah open in the midst of our Torah services. And you could find the words of the healing prayer on page 22. And what I'd encourage all of you to do is think about people in your lives that could use healing. We always want people to be cured, and hopefully that's often possible. But healing is something different than curing, you know. You can have healing even when there's no possibility for a cure, right? This kind of healing that we bring to one another and that our medical professionals bring to people who are ailing and ill. And so I encourage you to think about people in your lives who could use the benefit, the ruach, the spirit, the koach, the strength of this service, courtesy of Oliver and Ivan, to kind of send them all of that from us to them. And then to turn your attention to people maybe you don't even know who are suffering, who are ill, who are lost and lonely, who are mourning, anyone that needs healing, that this is a moment to really try to really transfer and give over our thoughts and our prayers to people who we hope have a refuah shlema, recovery of mind, body, and spirit.
The ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Those we love, and any of us who would like to have those healing prayers for ourselves as well. Anyone that needs healing. Let's say together on the bottom of page 22, Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed is the Holy One that teaches us ways to bring healing to those who are ill, as we say, Amen. So now I'm going to ask Oliver and Ivan to come on back up. We're going to put the podium back in front of them. Come on, you guys. Because every Torah portion has an accompanying portion from the books of prophets called Haftorah. And it kind of completes this part of the service, including the teaching that's coming. The Haftorah, the that was selected, the passage that was selected to accompany Lech Lecha, comes from the book of Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, who preached about social justice and about kind of equality. Really, that was sort of his main ministry, if you want to call it that, as a prophet. And so first, Oliver and Ivan are going to chant the blessing together on page 23, and then they each have a passage of the passage that they're going to chant for us, and then they will conclude the Haftorah chanting the blessing after. There's a blessing that goes after you finish chanting Haftorah on page 24. So whenever you guys are ready, let's get started.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim bratza v'divrahem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah umvoseh avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Lama tomar Yaakov uchdaber Yisrael nistara darki me Adonai ume Elohai mishvati Ya'avor. Halo yadata imlo shamata Elohei olam Adonai borei kitso ta'aretz lo yi'af lo yiga. Take care, litvunato. Notain laya'ef koach ul onim otzma yarbe v'yi'afu ne'arim v'yiga'u uvachurim kashol yikashelu v'koye Adonai Yachalifu koach, Yachalu aver kansharim. Yarutsu velo yiafu, Yelchu velo yiafu.
All right, Ivan, stay right here.
Chacharishu Elai Yim Uumim Ya'alafu Chawa Yigeshu O Tira Beru Lehidav Lamishpat Nikrava Mihair Mimisra Tadik Iker Echer Larglo Litain Lefanav Goyim Yard Yitain Ke'afar Harbo Kekash Naidaf Kashto Yirdafam Ya'avor Shalom Ora Baruch Lav Lo Avo Mife'al Ve'aseh Kore Hadaro Meiro Karve Hadarot Meirosh Ani Adonai Rishon Ve'et Ha'aronim Ani Chu Ru Iyim Vayiru Kotso Ha'aretz Yiharadu Karvo Yihat Yuv.
Beautiful. And now you guys together, the blessing for after the Torah chanting.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzor kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol hadarot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'mdaber u'mkayeh shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod ultifaret al ha'kol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarachim otah Yitbaraka Yitcha B'fi Kol Hai Tamid Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Beautiful. Kol HaKavod. Beautiful. So now, let's see, Ivan's going to take a seat just for a moment, and we're going to learn from first Oliver, and then from Ivan. Nice and slow, okay?
The story in this portion, called Lech Lecha, or Go Forth, starts with a man named Abram, being told by God he would receive great blessings if he leaves his homeland. Abram follows that vision and sets out with his family on his journey. He then barely escapes death from a Pharaoh and leaves Egypt for Canaan. Abraham then decides to stay in Canaan instead of going to the more promising valley of Sodom, which turns out to be a good move because the valley of Sodom is ravaged by wars and evil behavior. Abram has a child, and God gives Abram a new name, Abraham, which means father of a nation. Because of this important story, Abraham becomes the founder of what we now call the Jewish religion, and which makes him like a role model to us. One way this portion shows Abraham as a role model is his trusting nature. From Abraham, trust, called bichayon, in Hebrew, is an important Jewish virtue. There are many times Abraham trusts God. One time is when we first meet Abraham when he leaves Haran because God told him to. At this time, Abraham is 75 years old and has lived in Haran his whole life. This is a big jump for Abraham, who puts his trust into God and decides to take the challenging journey. Another example is when he trusts God and stays in Canaan. The land of Sodom seemed like a better place with more fertile land. So Abraham's partner, his nephew Lot, decides to take the land, while Abraham, keeping his trust in God, settles in Canaan. One last instance is when Abraham performs a confusing ritual, just because God told him that it would lead to him finally becoming a father again. This was a very trusting move, as Abraham had to sacrifice a lot and still has to wait longer, but in the end, he finally gets a child at the age of 100, Isaac, who will lead the next generation. In my opinion, trust is a very important thing to have in any relationship, and it's hard to have a good relationship with someone without trust. Some examples in my life of trust are when my parents trust me to do something like do my homework or feeding the dogs, and vice versa, I trust my parents with giving me advice that is in my best interest. These two examples make me and my parents' lives easier, by my mom not stressing out over if I will do the homework, and also I'm not worried about the advice my parents are giving. Another example is I'm playing baseball, and I trust my defense to make a play behind me. That trust makes me play better because I'm confident. As much as I hope to trust others as much as possible, it is also important to become the type of person who can be trusted. In the next few years, I will be meeting a lot of new people and having different experiences in my own Lech Lecha journey. I believe that by working on being kind and not talking behind people's backs, I will continue to be the type of person who earns the trust of others. I have a journey of becoming an adult coming up, which in some ways is similar to Abraham's journey. Like Abraham, I have to use trust in order to be successful. My advice for you to be more like Abraham is for you to be more like Abraham, trusting of your friends and family in order to make everyone's lives easier, and it may even make you happier.
The Torah portion that I chanted from today is Lech Lecha, the beginning of many chapters of the life of the Jewish people. It starts with Abram getting a vision from God. Before, he was just a shepherd, and he did not understand why he was journeying to go to Canaan, the promised land. He started a brave journey gaining followers. However, he needed a son with his wife Sarah. After many years, when they're old, they finally have a son named Isaac in the land of Canaan. Abraham is therefore known as the father of Judaism, and his name is changed to Abraham, father of a nation. The part that jumped out at me was when Abraham said to the king of Sodom, after he'd won the war, even though Abraham helped the king, he said, "I would take nothing from you." This shows that Abraham is very generous and does not take what he doesn't need. It would have been easier if he just took the goods the king gave him, but he didn't. There are many other qualities of Abraham that are passed down to the Jewish people. One is that he is loyal to God, and he's even willing to sacrifice his own son, which is a challenging story told later in the Torah. But sometimes he will argue with God on certain things. He does not blindly follow, but he trusts God will do the right thing for the Jewish people. For example, he trusted that God would give him a son. He prayed and prayed for a son, and eventually he got a son. He is also very peaceful. He does not try to start fights, and he is kind to people. This is shown when he interacts with his nephew Lot, who he lets choose the most promising portion of lands, and also rescued him from his poor life choices, and is very gracious to God and giving God things and praying. Still, Abraham's generosity impressed me the most. Following that example, I have looked for generosity closer to home. Some examples of generosity in my life are my family being the host of Olive at Night, so the whole neighborhood can come to our house for one dinner. Another example of generosity in my life are my family providing for me and helping me to make my life better. And lastly, I've seen CRC be generous in all the charities and different things they do in the community. Sometimes it is hard to be generous because you have to sacrifice what you have for other people, and you have to give a lot. Generosity is important because it makes people you're generous towards feel good. It makes you feel better as a person. And to be more generous as a person, you have to put yourself in their shoes and treat them the way you would want to be treated. This will make you and the people around you happier and have a better relationship where you care for each other. Following the person who is considered the original Jew, whose story begins in the Torah portion chanted for my Bar Mitzvah, Abraham, I hope that generosity is always a part of my life and yours.
Oliver, Ivan, come on up. One more time. Let everybody see you. Thought I would give you a blessing in song. But first I want to say, apart from everything else that you've done, I'm amazed how in sync the two of you are with each other. Every prayer, there wasn't one time, right? And I imagine that's how you are as brothers in real life, right? But you know what? I think we're really lucky because we get to see the very best. The two of you really shine. And it takes a lot of work, and it even takes a journey, you might say. But doesn't it feel like doesn't it feel like when you finally got here, it all kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It all kind of comes together. And I know there were times along the way that it was tough and challenging, and you questioned it, and you even might have fought it once or twice. But boy, sometimes you got to trust the process. And I feel really good about the journey that the two of you have been on when it comes to becoming, each of you becoming Bar Mitzvah, becoming B'nai Mitzvah together. That was a great decision. Just so great to see both of you, two siblings, two brothers, really joining forces to do something awesome. So, Lech Lecha, there's a little secret in that. So it is about a journey, and certainly Abraham went on a journey. You guys could be like presidents of the Abraham fan club, by the way. You guys you got him down. And there's worse fan clubs, to be part of. But there was a physical journey. There's no question about it, and that's what it says. Go forth. But there's a funny grammar secret in Lech Lecha. The word Lecha means to you. It means go to yourself, literally. Now, we kind of take it as go forth. But if you want to look at the Hebrew literally, it says go to yourself. So what does that say to me? It says that sometimes, we go on actual journeys when we go from one place to another. But a lot of the times we're also on an inner journey. Even at the same time we might be on a, going somewhere journey, physically, geographically. We're always on this inner journey. We're always trying to move from where we are to a hopefully better place, and sometimes it gets bumpy, but it is a journey. And that's how I think of the two of you and getting to become B'nai Mitzvah. It really was an inner journey, and you traveled that journey in the most magnificent way. I'm kind of in awe, to be honest with you. That we traveled this together, and here you are having done everything we asked you to do and more. You really have. So this song comes from your Torah portion. It says, go forth and be a blessing, which is what Abraham and Sarah heard. That voice telling them to go forth and be a blessing. But for now, this is for the two of you. To go forth from this point to what's next. Hopefully becoming Bar Mitzvah will help give you more strength and courage and faith in yourselves. And be a blessing wherever you go to whoever you're with. And I have no doubt that you will do that. You guys are awesome, really. Lechi lach to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach on your journeys I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your names great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your names. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you. L'simchat chayim means to a joyful life, and that is one of our prayers for you guys, that from this moment on, that your life is filled with joyful moments like this one. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechi lach. You shall be a blessing. Everybody sing with me. You shall be a blessing. You guys can sing it to each other. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Amen. Hold on one second. Mazel tov. And mazel tov. We are so proud of you, and not just the rabbis, but our whole community. And we're really lucky that one of the members of our board of directors of this congregation, David Newberger, is here to give you words of gratitude and gifts from your synagogue. We're so glad that you and your family are here. And David knows this service because he's a regular on Friday night. He knows the evening service really well. And so I'm going to turn things over to David.
Thank you, Rabbi. Gentlemen, I would like to first of all tell you that the congregation is giving to you, you gotta come down. The congregation is giving to you for your benefit 2 trees each. So it's a total of 4 trees. and 2 of those trees will be planted in an area that is in Israel where there is a majority of Jewish people. And the other 2 trees will be planted in an area where there's a Arab neighborhood. And our hope is that those 2 communities can find a way to weave together with those 2 trees. And so that is a traditional gift that we always give. And we wish you the very best, and maybe someday you'll be able to see them. In addition to that, in addition to that, I have 2 certificates of Bar Mitzvah. I think there it is. Okay, that will recognize that. And secondly, I'd like to say that I was very interested in your commentaries today, because you were talking about 2 things that are very important: trust and community, that we all share with one another and we all contribute to one another. That's a hallmark of Jewish congregations around the world, but boy, is that true of our congregation. So we very much welcome you as adults in the congregation and look forward to your being participants as givers as well as receivers. So I have one bag and Rabbi Randy has another. There we go. And congratulations, Mazel Tov.
You know, we really do. It's wonderful working with our students to becoming Bar and Bat Mitzvah, the 7th graders, you know, typically. But there's something really different, a maturity. These guys, you know, 8th grade and 10th grade, there's a difference. And that's not to say one way becoming Bar Bat Mitzvah in 7th grade is better than another way or vice versa, but it was different working with the two of you. Really, I kind of felt that, that extra time that kind of has settled into you. And it was really, really an honor and a joy to have gotten to know you two now as teenagers and on your way to doing great things, I know for sure. So that is really the conclusion of the Torah service, and we're going to move towards the conclusion of the entire service. First of all, Ivan and Oliver would like to ask everyone, because you are seated, everyone that is able to please
Rise.
Yeah. Because we're going to put the Torah away. We're on page actually 25, and we're going to ask first of all family friends from Los Angeles. So, which is we're thinking about warmth and oceans as we bring up Karen and Molly and Finnegan. Where are you guys? All the way from LA. So thank you so much for traveling to St. Louis for this wonderful event. They're going to open the ark, and then we're going to ask back up some combination of Daniel, Emily, Lena, and Ari, whoever's here. Oh, look, they're all here, I think. Yes. They're all going to come up. That's perfect. They're going to get the Torah ready to put away. All the rest of us are going to help Leslie and Andrew sing from the book of Proverbs this time in the Bible, telling us that the Torah is a tree of life, which is true, and we learned that again from Oliver and Ivan, that the Torah is alive, it continues to teach us. It truly is living as long as we keep it alive. And so sing together as we put the Torah away, Eitz Chaim.
Eitz Chaim hi למחזיקים בה ותומך מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש חדש עמנו חדש עמנו
Recognize Oliver and Ivan. You can have your seats. Great job. We are on 26. We are going to face the ark, the four of us, and all together we'll sing from the Aleinu prayer, telling us that we hope all of our prayers and all of our words and all of our teachings are part of what we call Tikkun Olam, of making the world a better place. Speaking of that, this is the Shabbat before Election Day, so hope everyone is ready to vote on Tuesday. That's part of Tikkun Olam as well. So let's turn around. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, la'tei gedolah liotzer breishit, shelo asam kegoyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kicho hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim v'yoser aretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, u'shchinat uzo, v'gol hei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu et zulato, Kakartu b'torato, v'yadata hayom hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim ima'al, ve'al haaretz, mitachat ein od, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated.
Just for a moment again, we're about to say the Kaddish prayer, which always comes near the end of the service where we remember loved ones who have passed away. And so before Oliver and Ivan read some names that they and their family would like to remember, people who have passed away that they want to remember during Kaddish, I'm wondering if there's anybody here who has a name to say. Maybe you're in your year of mourning, or this is the anniversary, we call it the yard site of the death of a loved one. Is there anyone who would like to stand and say a name? Everyone is welcome to if you'd like. Thank you. You could stay standing. We'll all stand together. Up for Sherman, may his memory bless. And I'd just like to add one more name, our most recent loss, David Adelstein, who was the husband of our member Harriet and the father of our member Cheryl Adelstein. But now we're going to ask Oliver and Ivan to read some names that they're remembering.
Today we would like to remember Johanna Ruth Saxon, Leonard Saxon, Leslie Joel Moglin, Patricia Greenwell, Charles Fremder, Jacob David Gibson, John Kohler, Lloyd Moglin, William Stewart,
Gail Wilson, David Moglin, Ruth Leah Moglin, Maxwell David Moglin, Marion Gail Stewart, Reginald Stewart, John Kenneth Kohler, Phyllis Kohler, Joe Saxon, Rose Saxon.
May all of their memories be a blessing, and I know they would all be so very proud of you on this B'nai Mitzvah. So all those who are able, let's all stand together with those names kind of in our consciousness and in the mix here, all those good people, their pictures are even on page 27. And we think about all people who we mourn, all the losses of all the good people. There are some wonderful quotes about grief and mourning on page 28 that you could read at your leisure, and a poem on page 29. But then on page 30 is this ancient Jewish traditional prayer for remembrance. So for all those that we are remembering, and for all those that have been named, we say together, Yit Kadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'amad Divra Kirutei v'Yamlich Malchutei, B'Chai Echon u'V'Yom Echon, Chayei Dekol Beit Yisrael, B'Agala u'V'Zman Kari v'Imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah V'Varach Le'olam Omei Omaya, Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitpa'ar v'Yitromam v'Yitnaseh, v'Yithadar v'Yithaleh v'Yithalal, Shemei Dekudesha Barichu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlam Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'mromav. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Ve'imru Amen. Ve'imru Amen.
Please be seated.
Here we go down.
Okay, so Rabbi Randy and Oliver and Ivan are going to head down for Havdalah. We are on page 31. Havdalah is the word for separation or divide, and it divides holy from the rest of the week. So just as we began Shabbat with lighting candles and a blessing over wine, we also end Shabbat with another flame and with a blessing over wine. And we add a third thing. We add some spices because we hope that this coming week will be sweet and pleasant for everyone. And I know after this B'nai Mitzvah, everybody is going to take something special from your teaching, from the quotations you've provided, and we will take that into our week. So, okay, so we're passing out spices. So it's really easy to remember the order of Havdalah. It actually goes up your face, which sounds weird, but it's true. Because you start with your mouth with the wine, then you move to your nose with the spices, and then your eyes for the light. So we will begin. Again, we're on page 31.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hakafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei me'orei ha'is. מבדיל בין קודש לחול.
Shavua Tov is a blessing we give each other to have a good week. So turn to someone next to you or behind you or in front of you and say, Shavua Tov. And I hope that it's a good week for everybody. But we do have two very important blessings before we conclude the service, Ivan and Oliver, and that is the blessing from your parents. And so I'm delighted to ask once again your folks, Mark and Amy, to come and give you words from their hearts and their souls and their brains just for the two of you. So turn around. There you go.
Okay. I've got two of them, so I might be a little long, but I'm going to try. Okay, boys. Abraham's journey to the Promised Land was like a trip to 7-Eleven compared to what it took to get you on the Bema today. It would not have happened without Rabbi Randy, Maxine, our friend and neighbor and mayor, and Golda. You were our rock throughout the whole thing. We really couldn't have done this without you, and thank you so much for putting up with all of our reschedules and sports and just being so patient and kind. I also want to thank our friends and family for traveling to be here with us, and our family and friends watching the live stream. Hi, there's lots of you. They're from all over the world. We have Greece, Poland, France, Canada, our big California crew, Texas, Colorado, and New York. We love you, and we're also grateful you're here virtually and spiritually. And for the people we love who aren't here with us, your grandparents, Les, Len, Johanna, Jacob, Uncle Charles, Uncle John, Uncle Lloyd, and so many others. They're with us in our hearts today as we celebrate this day. Okay, Oliver and Ivan, in your teaching you describe some of Abraham's qualities that were passed down to the Jewish people. You taught us that Abraham wasn't afraid to ask hard questions and challenge conventional wisdom. Though Abraham trusted God, he wasn't a blind follower. Going on this journey wasn't something that either of you wanted to do, let's be honest. You did it out of duty and an obligation to me. You trusted me, but you also challenged me and asked questions. And boy, did you ever challenge and argue and question. And they were great questions. It didn't make it easy, especially since you asked and argued and challenged every single time you had to study. But you challenged me to examine my relationship with Judaism and why I felt it was so important that you get a Jewish education and go through this journey. So why was it so important? I wanted you to learn Jewish values and instill in you a sense of pride in being Jewish. I wanted you to learn the meaning and message of a Torah portion. I wanted to bring the people who love you most together to share in the joy of this day and celebrate you. But mostly I wanted to give you a foundation so that you can each decide what Judaism means to you. One of the traditions I love is the blessing over children on Shabbat. Be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. I want to share a quick story about each of you that I think illustrates who you are. It's not all of you, but it's some of the many special parts, just some of them. Ivan, when you were 2 days old, you stopped nursing and had a very high fever. We rushed you to the ER, and we spent the next week in the hospital. You developed allergies and sensitivities to almost all food when we got home. You had rashes, and we had to wrap you up like a mummy to keep you from scratching. I took you to a doctor that Karen recommended at UCLA. He took one look at you and said, "Trust me, this boy is going to be as strong as an ox." And he was right. You should see this kid tackle on the football field. And yet, despite your formidable strength, you have a soft inner quality. You're kind, generous, and thoughtful. When you were a baby, I used to read you the story of Ferdinand about a bull who's the strongest of his group, but he prefers smelling flowers to bullfights. You're like Ferdinand, but if he actually wanted to be in the bullfight. You notice and appreciate beauty around you. You have a rich inner life that spills out when you write creative stories or play the piano or do one of your interpretive dances. It sometimes means you don't know what month or day it is, but you always notice the important things, when someone is sad or hurting, or a beautiful moon in the sky. Oliver, when you were in 2nd or 3rd grade, I got a call from Miss Gravino, the principal at Mount Washington. She asked that we come in to meet with her. When we got to the office, she told us that you led a revolt of the entire lower grades to protest a new rule on the playground that you didn't think was fair. You led the group to the principal's office to fight against what you believed to be a ridiculous rule that meant you couldn't play baseball during recess with your friends. I can't remember if they did away with the rule, but they did change it so that you were able to resume your games. This was not the first call from the principal, nor was it the last. You're not afraid to question or challenge anyone when you think something is unjust. You're bold, courageous, and passionate. And when you care about something, you work your butt off. Last month, your baseball team won the tournament after having an uneven season. I'm not a sports person, and I don't really care if you win or lose, but I can say I was so proud of how hard you worked to become the player you are. No matter what it is, dinosaurs, baseball, food, aquariums, you're all in. You're committed and care deeply about your passions. You don't care what other people think and have a strong sense of self. Ivan, my blessing for you is that you always balance your strength with your softness. Oliver, may you, as the late John Lewis said, get in good trouble, necessary trouble, as a leader who fights for justice. I love watching you grow up into such fine young men, and I love you.
raise this a little. Yep. You guys did it. I cannot believe it. I wasn't sure it was going to happen at times. Golda, you are a miracle maker. Amy suggested I give my blessing through the prism of their baseball playing careers, since I have a lot of insight into that as their personal Uber driver. And those of us who have been married to Jewish women know that you should always say, yes, dear, that's a great idea when they make a suggestion. So, Oliver, I'm probably going to embarrass you a little bit here, just so you know. Not that long ago, you were not that good of a baseball player, let's be honest. When you were 4 or 5, she made me sign you up for a baseball league. And you weren't that into baseball yet. And you said, something tells me I won't be very good at it. And that kind of broke my heart. But once your friends started getting into it, and you decided you were going to take it on, and once you decided it was something that was a passion of yours, you didn't let up. You worked so hard. You got in the weight room, you got bigger, stronger, faster, so much faster, I'm wondering whether you're really my child. But it's just sheer determination. It's been beautiful to see. And there were times you applied those attributes to learning this, and you nailed it, man, because you worked your butt off. And that's an incredible lesson to learn. Last year you hit 432, you led the whole team. I got to brag on him a little bit, right? That you came a long way, and it was all your hard work. You care so deeply about what you care about. You become a better teammate, and every day I can see this beautiful growth that is you becoming a man, and not just a man, but a good man. And there was something from the prayer we read earlier that I thought was so perfect for this, and that is, praise be the person who transcends strength through gentleness. And that's my blessing to both of you guys. You're going to get stronger, but with your strength comes gentleness, and that's where you learn to be gentle and caring about people. Ivan, now it's your turn. You're kind of the opposite baseball story from Oliver. You were always one of the best kids on the team, maybe the best kid. Good hand-eye coordination. You had no lack of confidence. You never do. Now you strike out, and you're like, I can't believe that happened. That's never going to happen again. But you've also learned, you picked it up first from your brother, but you really gained steam with it, and you started working really hard too, even to the point where today, on their Bar Mitzvah day, he begged and insisted that he go do this really hard workout way down in South County, which I was not maybe thrilled about having to take him to, but he wouldn't back down. But you guys, remember that work ethic also now applies to everything in your life, right? It's that passion and going out and wanting it and then working toward getting it. But Ivan, you've also grown you become a more fiery player. I saw your team was having a bad game. You have a very good team, you have a bad game, and you were pacing up in the dugout going, why can't we hit this freaking guy? Why can't we hit this dang guy? And it's cool to see you kind of take on that fire too and have that passion. I've seen both you guys apply that work ethic that made you good players to studying Hebrew to get through the ceremony, which you seem to have done beautifully. It's fair to say you didn't once complain about having to do it either. As Amy mentioned, you complained at least 10,000 times. I stand up here today in front of all you beautiful people as the proudest guy in St. Louis. Thanks so much for coming, and love.
You guys all together, all four of you. Come on. So that's it, y'all. So now we send you off to celebrate, and Oliver and Ivan sure deserve a celebration. And so ask everyone to stand one more time. And this time we already kind of Oliver and Ivan gotten a lot of blessings, but this one at the end we're gonna bless one another. And just like we put our arms over Oliver and Ivan, I'm going to ask you all to put your arms over each other. I want to express great gratitude to Andrew and Leslie Our musicians, this is their third service in 24 hours. They've done more services than any of the three of us rabbis here this weekend, and just making people, just uplifting us. The service is a different service without music. It really is, and so appreciate the two of you. There you go. There you go. And everyone for being here. Put your arms around each other. This blessing comes from the Torah. The same Torah that Oliver and Ivan chanted from and interpreted so beautifully. And this blessing was too good to leave it just to the Torah. We say it at every service as our way of making sure that we have words of peace and love whenever we gather together. So yeah, come on, join. No one should be alone at this blessing. So here we go. The blessing goes like this. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless and keep you now and always. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
And may you take all this love and wonderfulness that you have brought to us, and may you take it into your week and keep that light with you as you make your way through your Jewish journey.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may we all be blessed with the greatest gift of all, the gift of shalom. We talked about it. We sang about it. We want shalom in our hearts, our homes. We really pray for shalom in our schools, shalom in our workplaces, shalom in our cities and all over the world. And, Abraham, all the children of Abraham, whatever religion they follow, may all those children make peace with each other so that we can all live together the way we were supposed to, with peace and love at our core. So let's say amen. And Shavua Tov. And Mazel Tov to Oliver and Ivan. Mazel Tov.